Hey everyone, welcome to From the Depths. I'm Menti and this is episode 5 of the No Holds Barred tournament. In this episode we have the Precursor RT by Morark going up against the Beehive by Varian 101. Varian 101. Something like that. The Precursor's already been seen. It was back in episode 1. If you want to see a deeper look on that ship, you can go back to that episode in the playlist and watch that. But for here, we have not seen the Beehive yet. So, do a little review of the textures there, fixing the textures. Here it is, the Beehive, the missile ship extraordinaire. Like, that is a ton of missiles. That is a ton of missiles. And that is basically the main feature of this ship. Well, it's one of the two main features, I would say. The other main feature would be all of the ammo barrels extended out away from the hull, so that they don't actually do any hull damage when they explode. And they're spaced out so that they won't detonate each other. It's got the 3-block gap in there. So yeah, I got some repair bots under here as well. It's jet powered, so it's going to be pretty fast. It looks like it's going to be some sort of thruster craft. I'm not entirely sure by that because of the propellers on the bottom. Like, those aren't going to do anything up in the air. So I've given it some space in case it's a thruster craft, but not enough so that if it is supposed to be a boat, that it won't hit the water quick enough. So there's not really much else to see in here. It's mostly missiles. I can't, because they're on the enemy team, I can't open up the queue menu and look at what the missiles actually are. There's probably some laser designated here. Obviously, there's laser designators all over the place on this thing, so there's probably some laser designated at the very least. Maybe a mix of laser designated and IR. Probably some frag warheads, maybe some explosive in the EMP. Who knows? We'll see in a minute. We'll see here shortly. I'm going to go ahead and get the timer set up, and we will get the first round here underway. So it looks like the Beehive is a boat. It's settled down into the water, but it doesn't actually seem to be moving. But it is firing all those missiles. Some of them are just kind of going off into nowhere, though. That's really strange. What's going on? Does this thing not have its... Oh, its AI is set to on instead of combat. Okay, I will give you a little assistance there like I did with the whale, but... It's like, really, again, like I said with the whale, I should just let your ship be annihilated in its immobility. But I did it. I helped out the whale, so it's only fair that I help out the Beehive as well. And the Precursor RT has taken some serious hits from those missiles, down to 72%. And it is sailing away here. Oh, and then we've got an out-of-range situation. Okay. They're both sailing away from each other, though, so it's a mutual out-of-range situation. But the Precursor seems to be coming around while the Beehive is still sailing off. So once the Precursor has actually started sailing towards its opponent, I will start the disqualification clock for the Beehive itself, which I'm going to call that close enough now. So the Beehive has 60 seconds from now to return to range, or it loses. Because when they were both sailing away from each other, yes, the Beehive is faster, so it has the advantage in bringing things back into range there, but it may have also been damaged and unable to make the turn now. And if that's the case, then the Precursor should not be penalized for that. And since it is now sailing at its opponent and trying to catch up to it, it is no longer in the wrong, but the Beehive is still flying away. For whatever reason, it is not coming about and re-engaging. It has 6 seconds, 5 seconds left on its disqualification clock. And that is it, folks. The Beehive is disqualified. It's all the way out at 5 kilometers. So yeah, it may have taken damage. I hope I hope the cause of that was battle damage and it wasn't the design just doesn't turn properly. That would be a shame, because it's a very interesting design. It looks like Varian put a lot of thought into this and is trying to win the tournament. But maybe because it was sitting there because of the AI oopsie, it took some damage to its turning ability and was unable to come about. Well, we'll see this time. As soon as this starts, as soon as we get this round started, I'll open up the AI menu and get it going as soon as the thing starts. Anyway, so yeah, here we go. Round 2 underway. Switched up the combat. There we go. Got the explosions ripping, and just detonating on the bottom of the Beehive because of the ammo barrels there. Missiles slamming into the Precursor. A lot of them are missing. They're not sure what they were doing. They were targeting something. I'm not sure what the heck they're targeting. Now, let me check something here. Just checking that Lua thing. I want to make sure that those aren't Lua missiles. That they aren't, because I actually have no idea how Lua works. The only way I know to check for it really is to check the thing. Oh, I should probably be watching for the. No, that's staying in range this time, so it must have been battle damage in that first fight. It's still definitely in range right now. Okay, I still want to check that the Lua box fixed update. Okay, no, it's not ticking, so that apparently means there's no Lua involved. Maybe they were just being goofy because of the new missile detection stuff. I don't know. I'm sure somebody will let me know what exactly was going on with that. You guys are pretty good about filling in my ignorance. Or maybe they just don't have a target. But they all seem to be heading for the exact same spot. So I have no idea. Huh. Got some missiles raining pretty much straight down on top of the Precursor. Oh, the Precursor has a laser anti-missile system. Interesting. Oh, it's rain and missiles. Yeah, this fight's going much better than the first one. Precursor RT down to 88%, Beehive 91%. Oh, it's flying off now again. Getting a little far away, 1,000 meters. That's fine. It's not out of range yet. It looks like it's trying to come about, but it is rolling heavily to one side. I'm not sure. Oh, it is officially now out of range, but they are both sailing away. Honestly, this time, the Beehive is more... Oh, but now it's down in the water. So it has been shot down. But the Precursor is not turning to re-engage either. So, how do I call this one? If the Precursor turns and re-engages, it will obviously no longer have any fault in the out-of-range situation, but it is not re-engaging right now. It is sailing away. So I'm not going to start any disqualification clocks here, because the Precursor did shoot down the Beehive, which it should be rewarded for, and it would be if it was playing by the rules itself, but it is not. Looks like the Beehive over there is trying to get out of the water. Let me see if I can zip over here. Zip as much as the camera speed in this game will allow. Yeah, the Beehive is back in the air. If it starts turning and re-engaging, then it will no longer be at fault, and I'll have to start the Precursor's clock. But it seems to be in the air, but unable to actually fly properly. Oh, what a shame. This battle was looking much better than the other one. But now Yeah, as you can see, if I sit here, the Precursor is still sailing away. You can see the range increasing from right here. So I'm half tempted to call this a draw and restart it, because don't want to just sit here for the next 10.5 minutes and watch the Beehive or the Precursor futilely try to attack one another. But at the same time, I don't feel like I can disqualify either of them and be fair about it, because neither of them are properly playing by the rules right now. Like, well, the Beehive is trying, but it cannot fly properly. If it can show me here, I think it just hit some of its own missiles. If it can show me here that it can fly properly and that it's actually engaging its opponent, then I will start up the Precursor's disqualification clock. But if it flops into the water again or something, then I'm not going to give that. Okay. It seems... yeah, it seems like it is flight capable again. So yeah, we will start the 60-second clock for the Precursor RT, because you have not re-engaged. That is not just one ship's responsibility. The Beehive is now attempting to do it, and it has the capability to do so, so the Precursor is at fault for not turning during this entire time. It had plenty of time to make a turn and come back, so... oh, come on. As long as it can stay in the air... it will, yeah, it's staying in the air. Its flight is very precarious right now. But it is, still in the air. The distance. So, yeah, it is definitely not going to close the range before, the clock expires. Let me double check and make sure that the Precursor RT is still sailing away at this juncture. Because if it is, then it is disqualified. And it is. It has not made its turn. Precursor RT, you are disqualified. So the Beehive is still attempting to close the distance. It is flying. Its flight is precarious and not the best. Let me make sure that it's not flying too high. It's a little bit too high, but it did just come up here and it's going back down. So yeah, it's fine. I don't think it's been going out of too heavily. This is the highest it's been going. So it should be fine. I'm going to give this match to the Beehive, which means we have a round 3 coming, folks. Detach my camera there. Get the Beehive loaded in. Up in the air a bit. Need to pause that. Oh, well, now I'll be able to set to combat. Way too far. Skype loops going on. I should have set myself to do not disturb. Apologize for that. Brain fart. Got a little bit lost in what I was doing there. Okay, so get the clock reset. We can get round 3 underway. I set it to combat, but apparently that wasn't enough time. And off the Beehive goes, spraying its missiles out. The Precursor RT's LAM's going to work, but it does not seem to be enough against all of these missiles. I'm trying to figure out why they're so... like, they all want to target the exact same area, even though that area is not moving. Maybe they're losing the heat signature, and so they kind of just keep flying at whatever spot they were pointed at. That's probably what's happening here. Okay, the Precursor RT has turned. It is facing toward the Beehive at the moment, so if the Beehive goes out of range, it's its own fault. The Beehive is out of range. It is completely at fault here. It has 60 seconds to return to range. Assuming the Precursor RT lives that long, since it's still getting missiles rained on it pretty heavily. Yeah, once again, the Beehive way out of range, but this time the Precursor is playing by the rules. It is sailing towards its opponent, and it is AI dead. Will it despawn before the 60-second timer is up? That is the question. I think it will. It's got 30 seconds left on that timer, so yeah. Well, that's one heck of a development. Cutting it down to the bell. It's actually hasn't. I don't see it despawning yet. Oh, yeah, there. It's despawning. 12 seconds left on the Beehive's disqualification clock. Cutting it awfully close there, Beehive. So, congratulations to Varian101. Your entry barely managed to squeak by and move on to the next round. Condolences to Morark. Your Precursor RT was a pretty strong looking ship. I really liked it. I liked those the like little tentacle shield projector things. They looked neat. It was a very well balanced ship. I like the water skimming aesthetic, but unfortunately it has been defeated here by the Beehive. It will be moving on to the next round. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you on the battlefield.